Uh, what did the tambourine say to the man? I to I
Yeah. Welcome to today's podcast, yo, everybody. I'm your host.
Told me that was the
I'm
intro.
your host, Crazy Jalopy, and today we got our special and our regular co-host.
PT Cruiser.
No way, you're not gonna be a PT Cruiser. You're gonna be Yugo 45.
Okay.
It is currently June the 2nd.
Give me a moment, please. I tired myself out slapping my legs for 5 minutes. I need bongos. Maybe that'll work. Okay. Well, so we're actually starting. Is this the actual start?
Yeah, we've already started.
Gosh, diddly darn it. Okay. Well, hey, how's it going, everyone? It's the 16th episode, and it's just the start of June. I think we did name ourselves Cars last time.
No, but I didn't call myself Jalopy, and I sure as heck didn't call him Yugo 45.
I think PT Cruiser was used though.
I do remember PT Cruiser. That's why I was like, you can't use PT Cruiser. It's illegal.
Okay. So we had a little break between last time and this time, but it's not as long as the other ones. So let's jump on into it, Carl. Or sorry, the Jalopy floppy.
All right. So I guess we'll start off with our previous time before this podcast, up to this podcast. You may go first.
Yeah. Well, I wasn't expecting to go first.
You never are.
Yeah, that's what, because your name goes before mine, so I expect things to just go that way. What did I do? Shoot. Well, I could say what I've been playing. I've been playing the Silver Case on the PS4 again. It's on my backlog this whole time. We haven't beaten it, but now we're playing it through and through.
I have no idea what that is. What is that?
It's like this weird kind of... It's a remaster from, I think it was originally on PS1 or Dreamcast or something. It's like this visual novel where you play as this guy who used to be on the Special Forces, but now you're on this thing called the Heinous Crimes Division. And it's all this... It's a lot to take in, dude. I was taking a gas. I mean, I like it. It's really weird. That's why I like it. But before we started streaming, we just ended the certain chapter, which blew my mind because I was like, where is this going? I don't know. It's crazy. But it's done by the same people who did Suda, or it's Suda who did it, I think. Grasshopper. So they did No More Heroes. They did, what was it? Moonlight Syndrome. They did stuff like that. So you're kind of on par for the course for a weird game. But I've been enjoying it. On your end, you've been playing Final Fantasy, right?
Yes, I have been currently playing through Final Fantasy X. I am slowly progressing through that game. But that's what happens when you play it at 3 o'clock in the morning, right before you go to bed.
I forget if we talked about it, but yeah, that game is actually quite linear, isn't it?
Yeah, we touched up about it last week, so more or less we said the same thing. It was pretty linear, and it still is continuing to be pretty linear. But I'm having a good time playing it. I don't know if I'm gonna like go crazy and like try to 100% it or anything like that.
Yeah.
I might just beat it just to beat it. Most Final Fantasy games this day are like, if you really want 100% something, like there's like not even really a defined goal most of the time. Like Final Fantasy, like Final Fantasy 9, like anybody that's played Final Fantasy 9 and knows of the quest in that game in order to quote unquote 100% that game knows that like that's a whole nother thing on its own.
And you're gonna have to dodge all those lightning bolts for the ultimate weapons and stuff.
Am I?
Yeah, I think it's Riku's weapon is Riku from Final Fantasy, obviously, because you're playing Kingdom Hearts in conjunction right now. But Riku, yeah, I think her weapon or something. If Brightheart was here, he'd be like, "No, it's actually someone else's weapon." I'm pretty sure it's Riku's weapon. You have to dodge like 400 lightning bolts in the planes. It's Lulu's.
Tom's giving you the talk. He's come out of the boulder just to say that you're wrong. Congratulations, Speed.
What do I win? A iPad Nano? iPod Nano?
I don't know. Maybe you get to rent Tom's Rock for like a day.
With the lightning? I said the lightning, didn't I? Okay, well let's move on. I don't want to be shamed.
Yeah. Other than that, I've just been I've really changed up a lot of the stuff on the stream. I think we're gonna have a really solid schedule now from here on out. But
I remembered other things I did. I got my crown in.
Oh yeah, you've been you're having dentist time now.
Yeah. So I had acid reflux for a while. So these two molars decayed because it's not like I'm gonna have a toothbrush just on me 24/7 to wipe after the acid,
yeah,
bungles my teeth. But it hurts a little. I like. Do you have a crown at all? I think you do. Right?
Yes, I have 2 currently in my mouth.
Did it take a little to settle, or?
You're talking about just for the permanent crown?
The permanent crown, because the temporary crown, I just didn't eat on that side,
You're
so I was kind of fine.
Supposed to. I think you're supposed to let it for sure sit for an hour, and then like if you want to be on the safe side, you should let it sit for 24 hours. And then
I had it done.
Or better yet, you can eat stuff that isn't like sticky and gooey after about an hour, and then after 24 hours, you can kind of go ham.
I had it on Tuesday, but sometimes I wake up and it still kind of hurts. So I'm going back tomorrow for the they're gonna start drilling the other tooth for another crown. And I'll have 2 crowns like you. We'll be double crown buddies. Not a thing you really want to be. But yeah, I mean it's settling. I mean it feels fair. It didn't feel like a real turn.
Okay, yeah. Anything else you got to say?
We had a D&D session on Monday while you were doing that thing, which I think you have to get into just because you didn't say it on the podcast. That whole Memorial Day fiasco again.
I don't want to re-explain that story again.
All right, if you want to hear it again, fine. It was Jalopy, I believe you said it in?
Yeah, it was during Jalopy, I think, which will go up this week anyway. So
yeah. So yeah, but you guys can research that. But I just did D&D. I was not prepared because I'm the DM and I'm not a very good DM. But boy, I pulled it off, but it wasn't that great. I didn't really have time to set up stuff. So I mean, they enjoyed it though. It was Johnny and then our other 2 friends, Josh and Tim.
I feel like you guys should just like stream that, I guess. Watching the afternoon casuals do D&D.
It's a little less D&D and a little more tabletop because a lot of it is kind of what do you call it? Plagiarized from it, but doesn't really follow it. Like I don't make everyone do like check for initiative or roll for initiative and stuff like that. It's kind of more like, okay, if you're gonna do this thing, check a stat that we kind of made up because it's supposed to be Persona themed. So, you know, in Persona, you have these stats about like your social stats, kind of like your charm, your charisma, your gutso, stuff like that. So they spend their time raising that instead of like an actual D&D stat. And then in battle, they use normal stats. So it's a very confusing. I have a whole document about it. It's not worth explaining the whole thing. It's very confusing. But yeah, I did that on Monday. And if you want to know what Carl did Monday on Memorial Day, you'd jalopy it up.
Yeah.
Besides that, I didn't really do much this week. I'm still working on those thumbnails. I guess I could talk about my own stream a little. So we did beat, because I didn't talk about it last
You beat
time.
Rune Factory? Oh, I'm so proud of you.
I wish I did. We beat Final Fantasy 1. Chaos was actually not that hard. I don't think anyone died during it either. And now we're just going through the extra dungeons, which according to Brightheart, because I never did any of them, are worse and worse. And the more we do it, the more I ask, why are we doing it? But I mean, if we do it, then we'd be like, yeah, we really beat the game, you know. But there's this one coming up that's 40 floors, and I'm not a fan of that sound. I don't know if I like that.
To when every time you approach a 44-storied skyscraper, you're like, nope, not a
nope.
fan. You walk into Los
At least
Angeles.
those have elevators, though.
You walk into downtown Los Angeles, and you're like, nope, not a fan of this. Nope. Mm-mm. You walk into New York, and you're sitting like outside New York city limits. You're like, nope, not a fan of this. Nope. Mm-mm.
Well, either or, you know, not the best place.
And then a girl walks by, and you spin around 3 times and jump.
Jump. We're gonna have to explain that for this side of the streams.
Okay, so on Thursdays, Speed normally streams this game called Rune Factory, which I'd be lying if I said I knew everything, but I know some of what's going on. Not really, but regardless, it has, you know, relationships and all that kind of stuff within the game, and he was just like talking. I don't even think like he was trying or anything. He was just talking to a girl in the game, and afterwards, like, the girl slowly walks in to the place that she's going, closes the door, and then Speed all of a sudden just like spins around 3 times and jumps.
Like that.
So
if you had eyes.
So I came to the conclusion that that's what Speed does now.
So you might notice that we do it a lot when Dolly comes, because she's one of the few girls that watch our streams right on the regular. So, but now she expects that I do that all the time. So now we've created a problem.
No, you know what you did? Do you know what you did? Do I have to rub your nose in it?
Nose in it?
Yeah, you created a meme.
Hey, I'm the meme master.
You only have yourself to blame.
You're the one who perpetuated it. I didn't give it any mind until you said, yeah. Speed likes to spin.
Yeah,
He's the spin to win guy.
Yeah, but you're the one complaining.
He's spin slasher. Yeah, I suppose you're right. I am complaining. Oh, and also I streamed with my sister.
Yeah.
Well, I did it before, but this was a unique stream.
Sister
we did,
slasher.
Kirby. We did Kirby. That was fun. We need to fix the audio though. Just make the game lower. That's probably the only thing we'd have to change up. And the fact that she was eating before we started the stream was a little problematic. But you know, it's gotta you gotta go with the wind.
Look, it's Chris. Hi, Chris.
If only I was at the stream. Well, you know, you're living a busy life right now. Gotta walk dogs. You beat Persona. Stuff like that. How about you, Carl? I think I said everything I gotta say.
I mean, most of my week has just been, or past weeks have been really just focusing on YouTube and getting that all squared away and going. And,
Squarespace.
And I hope all the videos that I've uploaded so far are good. We got 2 more coming this week, so.
Want to get into it? Yeah, because I think since the last time we talked, no, we did talk about GTA 3, but the Zelda one. Do you want to talk anything about it?
I don't think we did really talk too much about GTA 3, or because I think I uploaded GTA 3 last week, and Zelda came out 2 days ago, and we haven't had a podcast since then.
I thought we did talk about the GTA 3 one. Like I said, that
no,
it was
we talked about Pokemon.
Oh, I don't know. Well, maybe because I talked to you in private about both of them. So yeah, let's get into both just real quick.
Okay, so
again,
what do you want to talk about?
So how do you feel about the 3 so far? Like, do you like the style that you're doing, or do you want to change something up?
So
do you feel like they're too long?
I'm not really sure I can really put some perspective of where I'm going forward with this kind of stuff. The biggest thing I'm trying to keep videos under 45 minutes. I think anything more than like 45 minutes is just too long for people to watch. I want videos on that channel to be like, when they watch the video, they watch the whole thing and not, have to come back to it, which I think is kind of inevitable in itself for some things, but like,
it depends on the size of the length of the game. I
Yeah.
think.
So might as well get into like how the channel is going to be kind of set up now. Ideally, I'm trying to go for a game is beaten once a week now. So I have kind of like 2 time slots for the normal streams or for games throughout the week. There's the priority game, which I'm kind of trying to keep like 10 hours maximum. So like I've been using like howlongtobeat.com to just kind of like gauge like how long it's going to take me to do that. And then something like Kingdom Hearts is going to be just, continuous.
A length.
Yeah, a length. So it'll be really nice because like the weekly stuff will continue to be weekly, and then when I have Kingdom Hearts done, then it'll be I can just move on, or it'll be like I have like extra stuff to put at.
I'm looking at Chris's comment. How do you feel about that?
If you feel like I'm gonna just stress myself out and frustrate myself trying to make games only last a week, that would be the case if I already didn't have other stuff going on. And usually within a week I can kind of plan stuff to, like, if I need a really shorter game, I can just toss in a shorter game. You got to remember too that despite that thought, there's a lot of games out there. And like I can make stuff happen. The biggest thing that's stressing me out right now is just playing catch up. And unfortunately, I'm still getting there, but I'm almost there to the point where, like, after I make the catch-up point, like, it'll be nice and relaxing because a 6-hour stream takes me roughly 2 to 3 hours to edit, like, to cut it up and stuff.
Yeah, because of how you're just searching for one thing.
So once I get into that moderation of whatnot, I think we'll be good to go. And I won't have as much stress, and it'll give me more time to work on like music and stuff, and have time to just do other stuff.
I think this might sound contradictory to what. Oh, sorry.
Can I add one more thing?
Go ahead.
I am fairly positive that everybody I have talked to in my entire life has told me that I'm going to stress and frustrate myself out. I'm going to say this now. Nobody's at fault, but I'm tired of it. That stresses me out more than I think anything else in life.
Well, you're looking kind of stressed out.
I will be fine. Everything will be okay. I'm not going to kill myself. I'm sorry to interrupt you.
I think that's
on.
No. I mean, I think that's the thing too. Like the biggest. It's debatable at times, but I think the person who really knows when you're at your limit is yourself.
Yeah,
I think that sometimes people do push. There are times where it was necessary, like New Year's, you needed that rest during that stream.
And it's really weird too because like during that New Year's, during that week I took off, I didn't really feel better. I spent most of the week and I was like, I just want to get back to work and stream again. Like I'm
talking about when you were feeling sleepy during the stream. And everyone was advising you, okay, just take a rest right now.
Oh,
you're 100%.
Yeah, no, I mean, there's like the time when I threw up, like, I'm very glad that I decided, like, yeah, that was a good call on my part.
I think you should just take everyone with a grain of salt, as in, like, obviously we worry about your health at times, especially because you don't eat bananas. But I mean,
look, I've tried to eat bananas. And I just don't.
But yeah, I see what Chris is aiming at though. Don't feel like you failed if you didn't do your goal of doing things by a week. I think that's more what he's talking about rather than.
I mean,
stress.
If I could make 52 covers of music within a year, don't you think I could do 52 games in a year?
Yeah, but that's there's a little. I
tried to do
involved.
31 or 24 games in a month. Granted, I failed, but that was because of other reasons.
Yeah, no, it's your fault.
Yeah.
Okay, where was I going? I think that now that you kind of have a good flow of how to do the editing, I think you really just need someone to kind of curate the clips, because I think there are points. I think the Zelda one really pointed out where there's just like, I don't know why this part's in here. Like when you're on the walls that kind of slide and you're using the grappling hook, I don't know why you added the whole point where you're moving back, you're aiming it, and then you move back again and aim it. I feel like that part, for example, wasn't necessary to show.
I don't know. Sometimes my brain. It's all the thing with editing a lot of that stuff too is that like you don't want to overcut it, and you don't want to like undercut it. You know. Like,
yeah, but I think there's some points where it's like, okay, would this be entertaining?
Well, see,
And
the other
like
thing
that
too
part I
is,
didn't
like,
really.
Like the other part too is that like I'm the only one that can really like review it. I don't want to like upload it and then have you review it and then have to re-upload it again and all that kind of work. Like, it's
But I think the more succinct you make it, the easier, the less time someone sees that they have to watch. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I get it too. Like, believe me, because when I do the initial, like, when I pull everything that I got, it's it's probably, I usually cut almost 10 to 15 minutes as it is, and that's from editing each individual thing to shorten it or lengthen it to its correct kind of, like, how I base it is that, like, okay, here's funny moment, so I will take like a mass chunk of it, like even if it's too much, and just throw it into the new the recommended kind of section to be rewatched again for review. And then when I get to the reviewing part, then I watch it through and I'm like, this looks dumb, or this is cut wrong, or something like that, and I can readjust it or just dump it altogether.
I noticed you did some fade-ins, but I think more to the point, like that part could have used a fade to your point.
So
because sometimes you're fading in things, right?
I was looking at that. There was a couple times I did use the fade-ins. The fade-ins are really nice to. That would have been. You're correct. That would have been a really good point to actually fade in. Had I really thought about that, but at this point, it's too late.
Yeah. It's like how we were talking. I was like, I wasn't actually gonna say it, and then you like, hey, everyone, Speed wants to tell you that I spelled minutes wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that at that point,
well,
can't take back.
First of all, okay. First of all, can I? I'm going to explain the other half of that. Speed here.
Hi.
I'm Mr. has to pick up or nitpick every single little mistake that I make here.
I don't know what you want from me. Either you want me to do that or not at all. You're like, hey, listen to this, and I was like, all right, I liked it. Isn't there more you want to say? And I was like, all right.
So
well,
he starts this out, and instead of just saying you misspelled minutes at 4:34, first he says, I hate to be the bearer of bad news. Then there was a long pause for that, and then he writes, this will shock you, and then there was an even longer pause. I think he even typed like super slow just to emphasize there's going to be a massive mistake. I'm sitting there, I'm like, did somebody hack somebody? Did I say something so bad that like I need to explain like what's going on here? And then he's like, oh, you misspelled minutes at 4:34. So then I'm just like, I can't fix it now. And he's like, don't worry, I won't tell anyone. And then he goes in the main chat, types in all capitals, hey guys. So I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to be a jerk about it. And I literally type out exactly all the mistake that I made. I'm like, I don't even care at this point. It's going to stay a mistake and everybody's going to enjoy it now. So.
You spelled the word wrong. Sorry. Sorry, boss. It just my theatrics at it again.
Since I'm on a rant, can I rant about one last thing?
Did I spell something wrong?
No. Actually, this isn't so much more of a rant; it's more of just a request.
All right.
For those of you that do watch the video, you don't have to watch the whole thing or anything. I understand that like we sometimes only have an attention span of like 30 seconds. I am very responsible for being that kind of a person too. When I just watched a 9-minute video and I only watched the first 30 seconds and then just like don't. Even if you like that 30 seconds, can I request that you just hit the like button? That's all I ask. To be honest though, like I do look at the like button as like people actually enjoying it. So don't like do it just because I told you to do it. But like, if you really did actually like the video,
I think viewer retention is more over to the point, but likes do help the video, I think.
yeah, I mean, it does help too in the sense of like, oh, the people, you know, seem to
Gosh.
like it. So, you know, but it's just
Goofy works at YouTube.
it's just a request if you can do it. I'm not forcing you guys. I'm not gonna be mad if you don't. I'm just, you know, like the video.
And subscribe and follow him on Twitter and join the Discord.
Yeah, okay. If you leave a comment, then you get
Ring
bonus
the bell.
points. So
Dude, I haven't rung anyone's bell on YouTube.
I never do that. I feel like you're supposed to, but like I don't know.
I kind of just see everything. I mean, you could. There are videos where it's like, oh, I didn't catch this. I guess YouTube kind of missed it. But I mean,
I don't
for
need
the most part, I get it.
That's not gonna help me pay a mortgage, Evie. I'm just asking if you guys can do it, just so I like have an idea of people that actually like the video or people that
Leave a dislike.
Yeah. If you hate it, then leave a dislike. I'd feel better about that too. Don't leave dislikes. Just to
No,
spite
because
me.
then Carl's gonna beat me like, Speed, there was a dislike on my video. What did I do wrong? Oh no, people are reading it in a minute.
I'm done with this guy.
What did you do when you left the? He left the chat, by the way.
I just said I'm done with this guy.
It was a good one though.
But yeah. So that's all I have to really. That's all the rant I have to do. The latest video, Halo. I think it's gonna be a really solid video to actually watch. It is roughly 23 minutes long, I think.
Ooh.
There's a new type of intro that I put together that I hope you guys will actually enjoy in a sense. So, still gonna stick to the unique intros.
Is it gonna be your face plastered over like Master Chief in a cutscene?
Now you're tempting me to go re-edit the video.
That'd be funny. And then it's like your neutral face, and then when the battle starts, it goes to the Carl, come on, while you're shooting. I think you're tightening up the videos though. Like 23, that's pretty good. How do you feel about?
It was a shorter
sorry.
series too, so keep that in mind. Because like Joppy,
If you stack up the
Joppy's gonna
if
be
you
about
stack up the
same size.
highlights, sorry, keep it. I don't know when to say. Okay, when you stack up the highlights,
So I was playing Final Fantasy X.
So when you stack up the highlights, what's your favorite, and then what's your least favorite highlights reel you done? Like if you're to put them on a tier list or whatever.
I would probably say Ocarina of Time is probably at the bottom.
So why is that? Exactly.
So the reason is because it's a randomizer. Like, it's really hard to put. The thing with it is like you have to. I kind of have to go about like when I make these videos and trying to get people who have never possibly played the game to understand what the heck is even going on in the game, and that's exceedingly difficult when Ocarina of Time is like. Or randomizer is the kind of thing where you kind of have to know how to play the game and you kind of have to have knowledge of the game in order to understand it. So when people watch it, I'm looking. I try to watch the video as like, are people gonna get this? Did I explain it properly to people? Is it something like there was a lot of times where I was doing that video and I was like, this is bad. I don't like this.
A lot of the video really was, if you generalize it, you opening chests and then revealing what it was.
Yeah, and that I had to keep that in there because I didn't. Number one, I didn't want to have the whole video just being like opening up blue rupee chests or garbage chests. Like the whole point of the fun of the randomizer was finding the unique randomization of stuff in there. So it's like it's kind of the same thing of like editing a Pokemon randomizer. Like
yeah, I suppose you're right.
I'd have to if and when I do that, I'd have to like edit at least the generalization of each route and what Pokemon are located within those routes.
Because I think your highlights are kind of more like just the entire series in a nutshell, whereas some other highlights, I think because when you're doing the highlights, you can't help but just view how Vinny's doing it, right? He does it where it's just the funny parts and it's not the whole game in itself.
Yeah,
So I can
that's
see
exactly how I
the
look
distinction. Yeah.
But I also I do try and make it, as you said it before, kind of like this game in a nutshell in a sense. I'm trying to keep that idea kind of flowing through the video as best as I can. Depending on how I tackled the game, it might be harder than it just, like randomizer being that case. It's a little bit harder to kind of show off how the nutshell, I guess, portion of it works versus the highlights.
So after that, between GTA and Pokemon, which one is your preferred right now?
I enjoyed doing GTA more than Pokemon, I think. But I know that people enjoyed Pokemon more than GTA.
Yeah, that makes sense.
It's just GTA 3 is such a game that, like, in this day and age, people barely play that game, I think, anymore in this day and age, other than speedrunners. So it's like everybody's playing GTA 5. Everybody cares about GTA 5.
I think when it goes to that era, I think San Andreas typically just overshadows.
Yeah, that's the other thing, is that, like, why play GTA 3 when you can play San Andreas?
Yeah.
So.
It admittedly does have more quotable things, and you know the whole story kind of. Well, then again, you skip the GTA 3 story, which I barely remember. So
yeah, that was the other thing too. Was that part of me actually doesn't know why I did that initially, just because I wanted to speed the game up. And I thought that just having solid gameplay through that stream would keep everybody a little bit more interested and attentive in a sense, which I think was actually the correct move.
It made the highlight much easier to edit, I assume.
Yeah, it
then
did.
You don't have to care about the story elements.
And there were a couple of the moments where I'm like, "What am I doing?" And then it's like, "Oh, I wasn't supposed to kill that person." I think, I think that made it more interesting.
I love that part where you pick up 5 packages and you're like, "I'm done."
Yeah. But like thinking back to it, like Vice City was probably the real game where like the story was a little bit more acknowledgeable, I guess. GTA 3's story is pretty awful.
Kind of just a revenge plot. It's just a revenge plot.
I guess it's a revenge plot, but like even so, it's 90% of the game is just like do missions, do mission, I need this thing done, go do it. I need this thing done, go do it. I need this thing, which is not to say that any other GTA game is not exactly that.
It's just missions. Yeah.
But like the what's the term? The narrative of Vice City probably is when they really launched it into, okay, now we have an idea of like how we want our game to be a little bit better.
Yeah, because from GTA 1 to 3, it felt very. It's a video game.
Yeah.
Like even the fact that when you go to shop, things are just on the floor like power ups. You know, those are.
Yeah, well, and
I think when it pulled away, yeah.
The other thing too is that like when GTA 3 came out, I mean, that was still technically like the old setup on how GTA 2, GTA 1 were really kind of based off of. So you know they were still taking that already proven and successful method of gameplay and just applied it to that. But
we even put Claude in it again, a different Claude.
Yes, Claude 2. Actually, it's probably Claude 1 because GTA 2 I think takes place later, but for another time.
GTA 2's main character is Claude Speed. I think so, at least.
But yeah, definitely GTA 3 was the better video to edit. Number one, because it was shorter, and usually with the shorter videos, it's really nice because like I feel like the whole video is getting more used,
right?
As opposed to like something like Pokemon, where it's like there's a lot of just filler material kind of in there, and there's nothing really to talk about or to laugh at or anything like that.
You know, and I thought about it too. I don't think you announced it, at least on the podcast, but with XSplit has a cool feature, right?
Yeah, okay. I was talking about that actually in Jalopy, believe it or not.
Yeah.
This one,
and then the Jalopy.
I can talk about this really quickly. So, because I did a really miserable job explaining it. So, XSplit, I figured out when you do record broadcasting mode, which is what I'm going to be starting to do now that I have the spare hard drive, it will happily split all the audio tracks out. So you can get game audio and you can get microphone audio just split. So if I do a really badly audioed stream on stream, I could go into the recorded VOD essentially and just be like, oh, well, I'll raise this a little bit. And with editing, you can kind of like go back and forth and really heavily edit it. So it's like anytime I talk, it sounds way better, and you can kill out dead zones too with that kind of stuff. So it's not
Now,
just
unfortunately, I'm tied with the game audio, aren't I? Or am I separate too?
with OBS.
No, you're XSplit. Am I a separate track too?
So you're tied in with the overall audio right now.
So I mean, I guess you could help the podcast a little, but not too much. 'Cause that's what I was thinking.
That
Just
would
in
be.
problem.
I could probably do it where you could get record, because technically, like, my audio device has a pile of different outputs.
Right.
I'd have to figure out how to work that, but I think technically speaking, I could make it happen. But it's too much work to bother with, and
Because I was gonna go into this part. We kind of talked about this casually. We didn't really like say this was the real thing, or like, what do you mean real thing? Moreover, like official. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking of. But I think Carl said I'm going to be taking over for the Speedy Sunday highlight videos.
See, this is why I'm not overstressing myself. It's because I gave in. I'm like, Speed, you're doing this.
So, but am I?
Yeah, you are.
Oh, okay. Do you still want the unique intros though?
I think it would be. I think you could do them cool. I instead of just having the same intro over and over again.
Okay, well, I'll have to find a unicycle and then crash into the floor. And
Dude, I
live
have
that,
one. I
guess.
own one.
But you're not happy with the. You don't like being on camera.
You're right. I don't. I look terrible, but still, I
Me
own
too.
one.
Well, I edit myself to look okay at least.
You Photoshop
the
yourself?
shady speed things. That's the good thing because I'm covered up and no one can see my weird chin.
You Photoshop.
But yeah, I'll be uploading them to my own channel, but I'll be obviously redirecting traffic to Carl's. It's not like my viewers are too different than Carl's anyway. So.
I still think like they would probably get more views on my channel if they were uploaded there, but I don't know. What do you guys think? Where would you like to watch Speedy Sunday intro or Speedy Sunday content? There we go.
Because I could also, what do you call it? I could well, no, hold on. What was I gonna say? I was gonna say that the editing is going to be vastly different from Carl's.
Yeah, it will be.
So it'll look a little different.
It'll look better.
I think
it's gonna do.
The big thing is that our streams are pretty short and there's not a lot of stories, so I most they'll be like 15 minutes long.
So the strong bad one will be longer.
And if I do a Peace Walker one, that'll be long too.
Yeah. I would probably start off with some shorter stuff though, like probably Loom and Bonanza Brothers. Would probably be good. And Unicycle too, or Uniracers. I mean,
I'll probably do. I was thinking between Uniracers and Bonanza Bros to do, because Bonanza Bros I think is a pretty good one. We go through it twice too, so there's a good amount of content, and I could probably, what do you call it, chronologicalize it, I suppose, or maybe not. I don't know. Maybe I'll show that we failed the first one, the first run. Yeah. Well, okay. It seems like just on Carl's channel. I mean, that's fine. I'll send it your way, and then you'll be like, okay, well, can you change this real quick, and I'll wait another 8 hours and then send it to you again. Because but rendering is not quick for me, which is the unfortunate truth.
Yeah, I can render almost 5 times as fast as him.
we were talking earlier, and it's like, oh yeah, this is gonna take me like 8 minutes. And it's like, it'd take me 8 hours to do what you just did.
So the Jalopy, the first half of Jalopy, unfortunately wasn't recorded direct, so I had to take the Twitch VODs are horrible. Let me tell you, they do not play nice with Sony Vegas whatsoever. So there's a lot of times where I'll cut something, and all of a sudden Sony Vegas will be like, Sony Vegas has had a problem, we'll have to shut down. And it's like, cool. Like this Jalopy video, I literally am going to have to re-render it into a new encoded format just because it is having so many problems.
Yeah, that makes sense. Sometimes I have to do that too. In fact, I sent Carl a thing, a certain video, but like the local footage I took, it was all green, so I had to
Oh,
re-render it as a WMV, which lost all the audio. But I mean, I guess that was fine because I didn't need the audio. Also, I was using OBS instead of just good old the Hopog. But I mean, I think you guys will see what I did for Carl maybe whenever another night happens.
yeah, that's still on the back burner for now
Yeah,
until
still not highlights.
we get things going. At some point, I'm probably gonna have to do another announcement video. And also, if anybody's got any suggestions on just stuff that's like out of date and really needs to be updated, like a new announcement video or even a new channel video would be probably ideal at this point. I think we were talking about not the offline banner, but just the Twitch banner itself looks like garbage.
Hey.
I think that needs to be updated. You didn't even do it.
I did the old one and then you replaced it.
That's because the old one
because it wasn't.
Yeah, it said I was streaming Monday through Thursday, I think.
I can make a new one. It'll be like you going like, haha, I'm game, I'm gamer. I don't know. I'll have to think about that.
Yeah.
How to do it. But I mean, I could do that. But I mean, you want to update more over to the point. The one with the stage and Waluigi on it. You want to update that?
So
look, Logan's on.
Yeah,
the
I finally fixed that. Now that Logan's too busy at working.
What else is there? Just trying to think of any other topics we had to discuss about the channel.
I don't think there's
we're
too much,
good.
Yeah, I don't think there's too much to do. Ideally, I'd like to have the format of the channel being uploaded is probably going to be Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday. Monday I'd like to have music, so it'll be Music Monday. Tuesday will be podcast uploads, so this podcast should go up 2 days after. And then Wednesday should be. I would like to probably keep it to Wednesdays being one-off Wednesdays, and then Fridays being. Oh, that's right. We got to talk about one-off Wednesdays. Hopefully coming up soon here. And then Fridays being like the weekly video or whatever being uploaded. So the last thing to talk about with my channel is Wednesdays after I get done with band. I'd like to do kind of a really, really short kind of stream where I just play a game like once, as in one-off. So if anybody's got suggestions of games that could be beaten in like an hour to 2 hours, hit me up with those suggestions because those would be great. Even stuff like I have a couple on the list as it is. The two that I have in mind right away are please do not touch any, or please don't touch anything.
Touch anything.
And American Truck Simulator.
Yeah, I think you said that a while ago. Yeah.
So those I think will be two good starting things. So like, it's really good to kind of base those as two categories of what I'm looking for. So obviously there's games that I can kind of finish within that 1 to 2 hours, and then Truck Simulator, which is I know that I can't 100% that game. I don't really have too much of an interest of 100%ing or even really technically beating that game, which I don't think is even considerably a thing. But I feel like 2 hours of Truck Simulator is probably more than enough to just goof around.
Right.
So
if I would request anything, I think I mentioned this to you before, but there's this platformer called SOS. I think that'd be a fun run through. It can be beaten, but you're most likely to get a bad ending because of how the controls work.
Right.
But I mean, I think that one would work. It's on the SNES.
Yeah, so
I don't know if it's localized though. I had to think. I had to research that. Another thing I had to add in: if they're going on your channel, the Speedy Sunday highlights, right?
Mm-hmm.
What the thumbnail is eerily similar. I don't think we could change it in any way, can we? Or moreover to the point, they're going to be the same as the other ones, unlike the ones where you have numbers on them. So how are you going to go about with that? Just have the same thumbnail?
Yeah, probably. Or you're talking about just the ones that don't have. I'd
Numbers,
probably just use the same thumbnail. Honestly, it's not like they're going to be really like scrunched together and super confusing on like which one do I watch. I could possibly do too is if it really becomes that much of a problem, I could go back and just rename them as to full VOD. It's just something that like I don't foresee it being a problem until I guess it becomes a problem. You know, people start commenting or liking the videos.
Because if I was gonna upload them to my channel, I have a very thematic triangle thing. I was probably just gonna change our Speedy Sunday thumbnail just a little angled a little more. I think that's the only thing I'd change on mine. But I mean, you know, they're going to yours, I suppose.
Yeah, I think it'll be fine just using the normal thumbnail, even if it's a single video or a single VOD kind of thing.
Right.
So
Okay, that's our channels. Mine's not getting any work anytime soon.
well,
But I mean,
you just gotta upload White Mage Wednesday, White Wizard Wednesday, White Final Fantasy Game Wednesday.
I really want to highlight that one because there are just long parts where I'm just like, all right, let's use Blink.
I think if you keep it in the same style as me, I think you'd. I mean, you could do. You actually, you know what? No, do your own thing. You do better.
Yeah, I'm gonna do my own thing.
You'll do it 100% better than me.
The speed promise. I think I don't have a lot of strengths over you. I think drawing and editing might be it.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Okay. let's keep going here.
All right.
Right. Self-depreciate myself some more.
So it is currently a week away from the accursed E3, Electronic Entertainment Expo, which is where these companies think they're, you know, hot garbage and can, you know, make a whole conference saying that this is why we're awesome and this is all the cool stuff. A lot of those conferences are C-
How
at
invested
best.
do you get? How invested do you get into conferences in the E3 one? Because I fell off kind of being interested in like following all this news because I think I overhype myself. I have a tendency to do that. Like, I'm already doing that for Death Stranding.
The best way I like to think of, or the best way I can kind of label all the conferences in the past that have really done anything is EA is boring. Microsoft has like 3 games and they're boring. Ubisoft is kind of hit or miss. I feel like Ubisoft conference would be far superior if they didn't have Aisha Tyler. I don't think I remember anything about the Square conference at all. I might not have been there.
I think those are kind of typically not that great because they kind of inundate you with information that doesn't really apply to the games. Like, I mean, sure I think they have developer talks there, but it's not the interesting meat.
Yeah. Bethesda, I think last year was pretty interesting to watch.
And then
then they couldn't hold up their end of the bargain. Sony last year was super not that exciting to watch, and it was kind of lackluster.
Though they did have pretty good titles revealed.
Yeah.
Wasn't Sekiro in that? They had a lot of samurai games, like the Ghost of Tsushima. They had a lot of. The theme for last year's Sony was forest. Days Gone, forest.
Yeah, well,
Last of Us, forest.
Yeah,
Sekiro, forest. Even though Sekiro looks pretty cool, and I haven't played it yet, but
yeah,
forest.
And it's unfortunately those conferences, like Nintendo has probably got it down the correct way, which is just going the way of the Direct, which is the way to just do it, I guess, nowadays.
Direct to you.
Yeah. It's just easier, and with the pre-editing, I think you can get like an audience to kind of watch it instead of having to do it live and having a disaster kind of happening on stage. All the watching of, you know, my controller's not working. This wasn't part of the demo. You know, all that kind of stuff.
You're just talking about podcast. You're just talking about speedy streams right now.
Yeah.
Controller's not working.
Troubleshoot
Like
Tuesday.
Mario Party.
Yeah.
I just think of Mario Party that one time. I hope that's part of that part thing there. That whole the controller's not working, the keyboard stream.
Yeah.
That was fun. Yeah, I mean, and also I think Nintendo benefits from just showing gameplay too after they show the announcements. I think that's why they always had. I forget if last year they had the Direct before the conference. I thought they did. Maybe that was 2 years ago.
No, they're usually like the last group to go out there, like as far as the main stage is concerned.
Right.
But yeah.
I don't watch the Treehouse.
Oh yeah,
and
then there's Devolver, which I can't even really explain. Every year I watch Devolver and I kind of come out of Devolver. I'm like, what did I just watch?
Devolver games are cool. I just don't like because their conference. I talked to Carl about this. they kind of have like they want to mock kind of E3. It just doesn't stick the landing, and I think it just leaves people confused why it was even added.
Well, originally they were what, the PC gaming show before they just
I don't remember.
became Devolver.
I mean, Devolver has some cool games. I don't know if they have cool games coming out soon.
I remember the
Katana Zero just came out.
I'm pretty sure they were the first piece, like originally just PC gaming panel. If not, I just remember their first panel. I swear, it was literally just like AMD hiding in PC gaming's conference.
PC gaming conference is separate.
Oh, okay.
According to Chris. Well, yeah. I think I don't really look forward to Devolver's conferences. I just look forward to their games.
Yeah.
I think that the same could be said about most conferences.
Yeah, that's true. But
I think I do agree that Nintendo typically tightening it up. I've been saying that a lot recently.
like they really, I think E3 should now just kind of go. They should just get rid of the conferences altogether, and if they have anything
it's to
exciting,
appeal to investors, but it's like we're not the investors.
yeah, I suppose that's true. I don't know, but like, it makes more sense, I think, to just have a bigger kind of show floor. Like if they want to, I think it'd be more impactful if they just recorded small segments. I guess like if they wanted to announce the 360, then maybe they'll just have like this little 15-minute presentation on the big screen or something like that.
They're re-releasing the 360? What?
You get what I'm saying.
But yeah, since we never talked about E3 on the podcast,
yeah, it's the first time.
My sister used to be able to get in there because before it wasn't open to the public. But she worked in a company that was allowed access, so she went like twice. But now that it's open to the public, I heard it's kind of not as fun to go.
It's just there's too many people that show up, I think, and it's not enough. What they need to kind of do, I think, is get it outside. I think would be a better idea, and just kind of have more of a fest instead of being in like a hotel or something like that. I think you'd be able, because I feel like it'd make it a little more easier for smaller companies to kind of set up shop in a sense. You could just drop the tent. Like, what are the odds of it raining in California?
It's cloudy right now.
But like, it doesn't really rain in California.
I mean, if this was earlier, yeah, it would be raining.
Yeah, but it's usually in June, which is not rain season.
Yeah, but it's still cloudy. Surprisingly, it was cloudy this whole day.
But
it's creeping me out, man.
But I mean, we
the
have
end times.
Look, we have festivals here in Chicago, despite the fact that it has rained 2 months solid.
You're right.
So, I feel like they would have just a better time. I feel like it wouldn't be as crowded. I feel like fire codes wouldn't be an issue then, and I think it would solve a lot of problems if they just kind of did that.
I mean, I don't really know how E3 works in general, like where it is even. I know it's in California, but so I don't really know how the setup is. Like I've never been, obviously.
Yeah.
So, and I don't really watch the conferences.
I mean, like I'd like to probably go once just to say I did it, but at the same time, I do know of all the horror stories of just like it's too much effort and it's too much money. That's the other thing.
I think E3 is also kind of falling out of like importance. I think more things are being revealed at PAX, even.
Yeah, events geared towards gamers, not events geared towards shareholders.
Yeah.
So I get that too.
Let's get into what we expect. So let's start off with.
So we're gonna start off with Sony this year.
All right, next up, we're gonna.
Yeah. Sony has decided that they do not want to participate this year, so we'll talk about Sony at the end because I do have a couple things I do want to say just for the.
Carl has notes. I don't.
So I guess we'll start off with EA. Company that will probably take about 2 seconds to talk about. There's one game series I think that I know EA that I have any sort of care, and it's probably
FIFA.
I feel like it's a 25% chance that they would go to it, since it's not one of their like yearly titles like FIFA or some Battlefield thing, Star Wars Battlefront, whatever. Is I'd be okay with seeing a decent Need for Speed game that isn't like the Fast and the Furious, and more geared towards their original kind of arcade style, like Hot Pursuit or 3 or 4 or High Stakes, those kind of games. So if they made a new one of those, I'd be okay to play that. But even so, it's such on the bottom of like I don't care either way, because it's EA, and that's about all I have to really say about EA, because it's Electronic Arts. And
Wait, so what game were you wanting them to bring back?
Need for Speed, just not even just bring back, but just even if there's a new one coming out.
But what about Mini Golf Madness?
Yeah.
Okay.
What do you mean? I really care.
You need me. Need for Speed.
Oh, funny. Hi. Microsoft. Let's talk about Microsoft.
Go at it.
Okay, so there's 3 games that I would probably say that there's heavy chance that they would probably talk about. Halo Infinite /6 is probably a good chance that there's going to be a lot of talk about that. Otherwise, I feel like Microsoft's shooting themselves in the foot a little bit. Gears 5, which I'm almost 100% sure that they will talk about.
What about Funko Pop? Do you remember that? They had the logo, and then the Funko Pops jump through.
Yeah.
And then no one claps.
Let's just keep going here.
All right, let's keep going. Mr. Funko Pop for intro.
And then there's probably going to be a new Forza game or some sort of Forza variant. It's probably just going to be talked about. And I like playing. Forza's all right. It's not. I like Gran Turismo still a little bit better, but Forza's pretty good. It's like, it's really nice when it's like I need a racing game to play with my brother, and it's like, oh, the Xbox is up here. We're playing Forza. So, then I kind of have like 2 kind of lists of like how what I want, what I would like, and what's probably gonna be talked about. Suffice it to say, Age of Empires 4 has already been talked about as being a thing. It's not. I'm not really sure if Microsoft is fully taking control of it, but I would like to see Age of Empires 4 being shown at E3, even if it is just a minor thing. Like,
a mobile game.
I would hate it if it's going to be a mobile game. Please do not make it a mobile game.
You risk that because they did that for what, Command and Conquer?
Yeah, and I kind of died a little bit inside when they did that, but I'm sure plenty of people.
You don't have a phone?
I do have a phone. I'm anti-game.
No one. Do you guys not have phones?
I'm anti-mobile gaming. I refuse to use my phone to play games on it.
Sorry.
So, and I guess PC Gamer, I don't know if this was just a thing I was reading when I was looking up just other predictions of people, what they had to say. Supposedly, I guess there's talk of Xbox emulation being a legitimate thing on actual Windows 10.
Right.
So basically, you can just use your CD player and just drop an Xbox One game in there, and it'll just work. Legally work.
I think I heard about that too. I don't remember it.
I don't know. I didn't read too much into it, and from what I read, it was like a heavy rumor. I understand if I actually don't understand why they would do that, but there's a lot of just Xbox stuff that's already on Windows 10. And I think Xbox One technically runs on Windows 10 in some sort of form of degree. So
same with Switch.
Yeah, so I wouldn't be too surprised if they did something like that or whatnot. But yeah, there's that's possibly going to be talked about alongside if Xbox decides to talk about their new console, the new latest Xbox something.
They already revealed on PlayStation 5 details too, so I'm wondering if they're gonna just do it at a different conference, Sony, which we'll still talk about later. But
yeah, but I would guess that they'll probably talk about the new console since they did hint about it at the past 2, I think, E3s. So it's probably time to step up and be like, here's what's coming.
The Xbox Toos.
Yeah, the Xbox. There's nothing really more that we can technically advance as far as resolutions go. Even though we're gonna announce it as an 8K system, and it's gonna hardly play 8K stuff. But hey, 8K, 8K.
Oh, 8K. Sorry, you said an 8K.
No, not 8K. 8K.
I got an 8K47.
So that's
my bad.
That's probably most of the Microsoft that I know of that I really care about, or really just is a thing. You have anything to talk about Microsoft? Do you even have an Xbox of sorts?
I red ringed it on Halo Reach. Remember? I think.
Yeah. You did talk about that. Okay, so you haven't really touched Microsoft
lately.
Yeah.
It used to be like I did have a good amount of games on there, like Fallout. I could open up the thing. But like most of the games on there are things I could just play on other things. Especially because the main thing we had it for was Tales of Vesperia, and now that's got everything on PS4. So it's like, no reason to really be faithful to Microsoft at the moment.
Yeah. So Ubisoft.
Whoa.
Or
Assassin's Creed 92.
Yeah, that's about it too. Like, I feel every time I watch a Ubisoft conference, it is the same gosh darn thing. I mean, they're almost worse than EA in a sense of having the same gosh darn thing. But at the same time, like, I wouldn't mind a Rayman game. There's like a 3rd edition of Rayman Origins Legends. Rayman new thing game.
What? Who did Infamous again? Just trying to remember. I thought that was Ubisoft.
Like Infamous, that's PlayStation. That's Santa Monica.
Really?
I think.
Oh yeah, you're right. I thought it was done by Ubisoft. My bad. So then I was like, maybe they could do something else. I mean, Second Son was pretty sold well.
Yeah, so Rayman would be decent. I'd also enjoy Watch Dogs 3 if they come out with, which is seeming to be that super heavy rumor that they are going to do. Oh, Sucker Punch Studios. That's Infamous.
Oh, okay. My bad.
Which I think is Santa Monica, like area.
I've never really been a big fan of Watch Dogs, but I know that they are fans. I know that you are, so it's good to see that. It would be good to see a 3 at least.
Well, Watch Dogs 1 was like, it took place in Chicago, and that's why I was a little more biased towards enjoying it. But I can understand like why a lot of people didn't enjoy it. But even still, like, even when you're not really in any form of Chicago, like, it was still fun to play. There are some new and interesting ways of playing the game that really hadn't been done by many other people. But the thing with like Watch Dogs and Assassin's Creed, is that like even if they're like mediocre, I could still sit down and play them and more or less enjoy them. Like, there's so many gosh darn people that work on those games. I expect them to be decent games regardless of like what they represent, I guess.
Right.
So I'd be happy for either of those two. What I'd really like to see though is a Rainbow Six game that isn't Siege and a Splinter Cell game. I'd really like those two games being announced would make me pretty happy. I've never played the Division, so I have nothing to say about Division.
I never played it too, but I know that it was under kind of a mediocrity kind of feeling. Same with Siege until it like got an update, a bunch of updates. I think.
I've just never played Siege, so I don't know anything. And from what I understand, it's more kind of like in the style of just multiplayer only and kind of like Counter-Strike. Yeah.
But I think at the moment, unfortunately, they're kind of riding off of a pretty good like wave right now with Siege.
Yeah.
So I don't know if they're gonna have a new one.
Yeah, Evan says his best. Siege is that they wanted to make Tom Clancy's Counter-Strike. It's probably the best way to put it. So, I don't really think I have much else to say about Ubisoft. There's like, Ubisoft is the kind of company where it's like, I read up that they made a game and I'm like, they made that? I didn't know that. And then I forget that they even make it. Anything to say about Ubisoft?
They have a spiral for a logo. Like I said, I don't really have good predictions in mind. When I see it, I'll just be like, oh,
Yeah,
consume product.
yeah, you're probably right, Evan. Just Dance 2020. That'll probably be too, and another awkward dance number.
Just Dance is honestly an amazing phenomenon. You know, it's on the Wii still. That's crazy. I go to Target and I see it. It's like, that's weird.
I think this is mutable music.
Oh, why? What's playing? You didn't even tell me what you've been playing.
I've just been throwing on the Halo soundtrack, but we had some Breaking Benjamin for a second there. So I'm like, and there's some Incubus down the road there. It's like,
I have some of their albums, I think, or my dad does.
Probably shouldn't play that kind of stuff. Glad I actually caught it.
Play the Loom soundtrack, which is just the Swan song.
Yeah, just put all of Tchaikovsky. That's the Loom soundtrack. But,
which would also get us copyright. What's the next company? It is Nintendo, right?
Square
Enix. Oh right, Square Enix. I don't know anything of what they would be doing.
There is only 3 things that I have any remote idea of. Maybe. The only one that I probably know for sure that they would probably talk about, just because that would be their biggest thing to talk about, is the finally anticipated Final Fantasy VII remake, which has been talked about since they first announced, I think, Final Fantasy 15.
Yeah, they did an info dump recently, but wouldn't stop them from going further.
So yeah, there's that. Otherwise, I'm sure there's probably going to be a Dragon Quest game that just
no, they're. I think that would be on Nintendo's.
Some Dragon Quest thing, some Dragon Quest. I don't know.
No, they wouldn't. They are working on a S right now. Which is
Dragon Quest, Square Enix.
If there's one, if I'm actually gonna say things, don't stonewall me right now. For one,
no, you're probably right. They probably work on Nintendo's, but it's
I don't think they're gonna go further into it.
See, I feel like it's super weird because if Square Enix is gonna try and conference, like, shouldn't they? Well, actually, now that I think about it, there's a lot through the conferences. A lot of those guys do kind of double down, so right. I wouldn't be too surprised if they put stuff on their conference.
But
that was
so 11 took a while to come out from 10, which I don't think was ever brought over here. I don't remember. I think it was an online game, kind of like how Final Fantasy has their online games, but I don't see them doing another Dragon Quest anytime soon. Since 11
until they do another Dragon Quest game.
Yeah, I feel like
it's not gonna. I feel like E3. It's like Assassin's Creed. It's like there's always a new Dragon Quest thing coming out.
Not really. Yeah. No, I think you're completely wrong.
Always...
8 was released in 2004, and then a big jump to 2007 or so for 9, and then we didn't really get 10, and then boom, 11.
It's too much Dragon Quest. By the way,
no, you shut your mouth, Carl, please. This is not. That's not true at all.
I have talked about the past 3 companies here for the past 20 minutes with no input from you, and then the one time I'm like, well, there's probably gonna be a Dragon Quest game, and you're just like, ah!
Because it's what's gonna be.
There's probably also. It'd be nice if there was Final Fantasy 16 too. Okay, moving on.
Wait, hold on. They're gonna make Left Alive 2.
Let's talk about Bethesda.
You just jump away because Left Alive was not worth discussing.
Truth be told, I don't know anything about. Like, I looked through Square Enix's list and I was like, I don't know anything that they do. They just, I know they make decent games. Isn't not Hitman.
They have some info here. Babylon's Fall. I don't know what that is.
Yeah, that.
Romancing Saga 3. Oh, that's a remaster, I think.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, Fortune Street's probably not going to be localized for Switch as much as.
I didn't know they're doing a remaster of Romancing Saga. That's crazy. And then they got the Avengers Project, Deck 9 game, and then at the bottom of this list it says AAA shooter. But then again, that's not by Sony.
And well, the other thing too is that like even if it's done by Square Enix, I feel like there's a lot of companies that are just kind of like in charge of the product under Square's name. Because I thought I read like Platinum Games being a part of a lot of those games too.
Right.
So I don't really know what Square does half the time other than just slap their name on a whole bunch of different things. But
I don't. Yeah, you know what? I didn't even know about this Babylon's Fall thing. Apparently, that's Platinum Games. That's interesting. Okay.
Which I thought was also weird too, because I thought Platinum was Nintendo only, but I guess
no.
not.
No. I mean,
I know
Grand Blue.
Retro is, but
Grand Blue Relink is coming out on the PS4, for example. So they're not entirely tied to Nintendo, but they do have a good relationship. All right, Bethesda.
I mean, there's only two things that like anybody cares about Bethesda: it's Elder Scrolls and
game.
Fallout.
Well, no, the new game was it?
Oh,
no, not Star Citizen. Was it?
Yeah,
Star Boy.
Star
Hold on.
Something. I tried to look at any information on that, and I didn't really look hard enough, to be honest, because.
Oh, and yeah, they're doing Doom, so that's a thing.
Oh yeah, they
Wait,
do.
no, was that EA
Wolfenstein.
or?
Yeah, you're right. Well, the latest Wolfenstein games actually do look pretty decent, and at some point, if I get around to actually playing the latest Doom game, that'd be good too.
But that's the Doom. Doom Eternal. I saw that trailer and I thought it was really cool. How he kind of grabs the guy's like ID and then just slowly moves it. It kind of shows that he's not just this monster killing dude. But then when the monsters come, you know?
Yeah.
But shoot, I'm trying to look for the game. Bethesda Games. Looking for the games they're doing. So I need to remember what the name of that title is, because a lot of people are like, I don't know about it after this whole, hoop-a-doop is happening here.
The hoop-a-doop. Do I need to
with
add
the Fallout. Shoot, what is it? I don't remember what it's called anymore. It's not even on this list. Star Boys. Oh, come on, what is it? Star Trek, no.
Starfield.
Starfield, yeah, okay. That's it.
Yeah, I don't know anything about it.
That's supposed to be an online thing too, I think. So that's also kind of problematic because 76 was an online game that kind of wasn't handled well.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I think because of what happened to Fallout, a lot of people are now viewing the Elder Scrolls game that's coming out.
It's funny looking at the list of what Bethesda has just solely developed, like without looking at it or anything like that. That's why I didn't really think about Wolfenstein being on there. They have done Elder Scrolls and Fallout. but aside from Starfield coming out, ladies and gentlemen, what we really want to see from Bethesda this year: IHRA Professional Drag Racing 2020. Who wants to see that?
Oh, I gotta get my wallet out. I don't know what that is.
I don't know. It's just some game they got title. You know how when you're playing game dev, and it's like, you make this game for us, and we'll pay you money as long as it gets a score. I feel like Bethesda was just kind of like
did a contract.
Yeah.
Yeah, not much to say about Bethesda, but I think a lot of people are going to view their presence with, what do you call it, like caution this time around.
Yeah,
because
they kind of
they fumbled.
Yeah, they did.
They didn't yell Omaha. Starfield and friends. We're ready to not have be. It's possible it might not be good. We'll see.
All right, I think that's all the companies that's worth talking about. Really, nothing else. Nope, nothing else.
But what about
Sega? Oh, forgot about them.
Do they actually make an appearance at E3?
I think they just have a booth and that's it. They do not do a conference. If they're gonna do anything like on a mainstream conference, I think they kind of leech themselves onto Nintendo these days.
Sega of
Maybe
America is doing a better job than Sega of Japan right now.
that's sad.
Yeah.
But I think that's always been kind of a thing because I think Sega wasn't. I don't remember Sega doing that well in Japan, like the Genesis, the Master System, Genesis, Mega Drive.
No, I mean, isn't Sega? I always forget that it's just an American company at first, right?
No, Sega's Japan.
Let me look it up because I thought Sega started
Initially,
in America.
anyways, they were Japan, and then they
Sega. Let me look it up. Is a Japanese multinational.
Oh, I guess
video
they
game.
are.
Okay.
Hawaii. I didn't know that.
Founded, by Martin Bromley and Richard Stewart as Nihon Goraku Busan. Sega stands for Sonic Entertainment Games.
But I think during the Mega Drive stuff, they were primarily Japan.
I'd love to see them reveal things about what was it? Judge Eyes. I forget what they're calling it now. I mean, but I think it's gonna come out soon anyway. It's a kind of Yakuza kind of spin-off type deal. So that'd be cool. And yeah, we might get more Persona news because Sega and Atlus have a good relationship rhetoric going on. But yeah, besides Sega, what about
I have a couple of just like
LJN?
LJN. I have some just random stuff that I'd just like to see for the sake of it. If BioWare did anything at the conferences, I'd like to see a new Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic game and Neverwinter Nights 3 made by them and not Obsidian. That'd be cool too.
I'd love for BioWare to have better work treatment. Oh man, there are bad news stories going on about BioWare and even Epic Games. They're getting under fire. Especially, I don't know if I told you this story. I heard from my sister, and who also heard it from a podcast. But this person at Epic Games, you can have vacation, right?
Mm-hmm.
But you probably shouldn't take vacation even though you need it. This person took 2 weeks off despite being like, okay, this might get me fired. And then they got back and then they were fired, even though they were allowed the vacation. So, I mean, that's pretty messed up.
Yeah.
Let's not get into it. Let's talk about game, even though, it's pretty important to discuss.
The only other game I have on here to talk about would be Grand Theft Auto 6. If they announced any sort of form of that, that'd be exciting. I feel like it's been a while since Grand Theft Auto 5 was released. So yeah. I think now that Red Dead 2 is out, I'd like to see that at one of the conferences being talked about.
With Red Dead 2 in mind, I can't think of any games that aren't just made in crunch time anymore, which is kind of a shame, I think.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Trying to keep the...
You gotta meet the deadlines.
Yeah.
Well, Bully 2 would be kind of interesting. Did you ever play Bully? I forget.
I own it. I have never played it.
Oh.
But was Bully 2 released or announced? I mean...
I don't think so, but people would like it.
I thought I heard that somewhere, but maybe then just... Chris says...
I know they were Bully fans, though, so...
Chris says Bully is terrible.
I thought it was okay.
But I don't know. It looks alright. I just gotta sit down and play it at some point.
Yeah, then you make your own judgmental. All right, so that's all the companies.
Yep, nothing else to talk about here. Nope.
Here comes Bowser. Here.
Yeah, I suppose we're actually gonna really see him at this direct, probably, aren't we?
It'd be interesting for him to announce that he's the new, president, like formally in a conference. That'd be interesting. Well, not conference.
I don't think they would just like announce it at like a direct or something. I think it would be more of just like, would he take Reggie's spot?
I kind of miss how fun the directs were, though. I think they should, because they're being a little more professional.
Yeah, they're kind of stale in just that aspect.
Yeah, I miss the days where it's like they got the puppets out. They
Yeah.
got Reggie fireballing a guy asking about Mother 3.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think we're at a point now where it's safe to go back and start making jokes again.
Yeah. So, Doug, this is a message to you. Step it up,
So what
man.
games? Let's talk about the games.
Well, I think what would probably be okay. So my understanding is that they're doing a direct in a few days.
A few days.
Which I kind of think is silly in a sense.
No, I think it's because then they could just have the conference to show the game.
I guess I don't know. I just think that like you might as well just. It's literally a week away. Just save it for everything. Like
it also makes them stand out more. The earlier that they can throw the ball.
I guess I don't know. I just think it's kind of weird. It seems like bad timing in my opinion, but
right.
I don't make the big money. What do I know? All right, so the big three games that I think are probably going to be talked about during Nintendo's Direct for sure. It's probably Animal Crossing. I mean, if that game truly is coming out this year,
right?
I don't understand why they would not talk about it at this conference. So
this is a big point to reveal information. Because there's so many people raving about it now that it's to the point of annoyance. I think.
Yeah, like just show
they need to
the
quell
gosh darn game.
What else? I was thinking they're not going to show anything about Metroid 4. They delayed it for a reason. I think they need more work on it if that's the case.
I don't know. I feel like they may have something. I mean, when was Metroid Prime 4 even? It was 2016, wasn't it? No, 2017?
I think it was last year, wasn't it?
It was not last year.
I'll check. Oh, and Luigi's Mansion 3 would be nice to.
Yeah, and probably Luigi's Mansion 3 is going to be talked about heavily. But
2017, according to Evan.
So it's been
2 years ago.
Yeah. I feel like there's probably a good chance that there would talk about something with Prime 4.
Mm-hmm.
Because really they only just showed a JPEG, which...
Well, no, it was an animated JPEG.
Yeah, a GIF, you mean?
You mean a dwarf?
So... But yeah, I think... Those three, I would predict that those three would be the most likely to be shown up.
Wait,
there.
what three again? So
Animal Crossing, Metroid Prime 4, and Luigi's Mansion 3.
I think Pokemon.
Well, see, I feel like they're not going to deal at all with Pokemon if they're going to have the Direct a week before.
I guess though, well, what they did last time is they showed a lot of Sun and Moon gameplay. So I feel like they need a game where they can show a lot of gameplay, and Pokemon is kind of that. But I mean, I also feel like the Pokemon Direct was not too long ago either. So I don't know if they're gonna just have another one that quickly. So I feel like they might not show anything. They might hint at it.
I don't think they're gonna show anything at E3 specifically. If the Direct is a week before, I don't think there's any point to showing more. I think they'll have stuff on the floor to play for sure, or to gawk at or whatever, but as far as anything...
So what about the smaller games? I was thinking about Astral Chain and Bayonetta 3. They might... I don't know about Bayonetta 3 just yet, but they might show some stuff. And then Astral Chain, I'm pretty interested, so...
I don't know anything about Bayonetta, so I didn't even think that was going to be broad or showcased at Nintendo, but...
What do you mean? It's Nintendo Switch exclusive, I think.
Is it?
Yeah, at least I think so.
Have the other two been exclusive to Nintendo?
The first one, no. The second one, yes.
Yeah, I don't know anything about Bayonetta, like at a single thing.
Yeah.
Other than she's in Smash.
Astral Chain though, I actually kind of like how it looks because you kind of control this other spirit too. And I was like, gameplay. I know it's a little too anime looking for some people though, which
I would really
those people need to get over it.
the two games that I think I would really like to just see. I'd really like a new Mario Kart game, and I'd really like a Mario Golf game.
Ooh, a Mario Golf game? I think that's going to be on the smaller... Well, it's not going to be the big focus, obviously. Yeah. But I think it's possible. They did tennis lately. So having a golf game... I hope they go back... I hope they pair up with Camelot for it. Because I really like the RPG ones.
What has Camelot even done lately?
I don't think anything, really.
I'm like,
The last hoorah I thought was tennis. No, they didn't even work on tennis. I'll look it up. I'ma look it up. Camelot
I feel like I haven't
LTD.
really heard anything that they do. Also, how are you doing today, Dolly?
Oh, they did work on Aces, so they've been working on the sports game with them. But yeah, I guess I really hope they do like a RPG element again,
Kind of like
because I really like. Well, no, I liked Mario Golf. Well, yeah, I liked Golden Sun, but I liked Advanced Tour and Power Tour, which were on the Game Boy Advance, and they had a lot of RPG elements to them. Sorry, it's Camelot.
I didn't. Apparently, they did Everybody's Golf in 1997.
They did?
Yeah, I guess so. It's on the original PlayStation.
Oh yeah, so Everybody's Golf was the original Japanese name. We got, what is it, Hot Shots Golf or something? And then they changed it.
Yeah.
They changed it because, game titles are confusing. But yeah, those are what I would like to see. I'd love to see Animal Crossing stuff for sure. Bayonetta would be kind of interesting, but I don't know. They Platinum has a lot on their plate right now. They're doing Relink. They're doing Astral Chain.
They're doing stuff for were they doing stuff for Square? Was it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't even know what the heck that is though. Babylon Fall. Never heard of it. It's a cool title though.
I'd also like to see. So I kind of have some just stuff that's probably like not even gonna probably do. There's a lot of talk of the Pikmin 3 port coming, which would probably make a lot of sense if they did. I think it would sell, but I would prefer more so if they just announced a Pikmin 4 game. I think that'd be good. I don't really see it.
You know what I want? Nintendo Land 2.
I have that written down.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Or is it good that I also thought of it?
It depends. What were you gonna say after?
It's not gonna have a lot of the features that the original Nintendo Land would have, though, because a lot of that one had gyro controls and stuff. So this one will. Well, you could have gyro controls too because of how the.
Well, the thing that was really nice was having the gamepad usable.
Yeah, that's probably the only time where people are like, "Yeah, the gamepad, cool." Even Chris was like, "Get the gamepad away from me! I'm playing Pikmin." That's my Chris impression.
You really can't. Unfortunately, you cannot play Pikmin 3 without that game. Like you can, but it's kind of gross.
I think what they'll do is they'll integrate if they do a port, they'll integrate the controls into one kind of theme. Who's it?
I doubt they'll really talk about Mario Maker too much.
They already had their direct, and I don't think they're gonna address. I feel like they're not gonna address the whole multiplayer thing and the amiibo thing.
Yeah, I think that's too much work.
I don't think they're gonna unless because. Nintendo is one of the few companies where if people make a stink about something, they're not inclined to fix it.
Stop, Twisted.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think they're the few companies where it's like, well, 40 steps forward, and then annoying one step down. if that's what I am to say.
Mm-hmm. I'd really like a new WarioWare, like a really solid new WarioWare game. That isn't like weird Game & Wario and not WarioWare Gold, which is just let's put all the games we have already onto there.
I'd like a do it the DIY again kind of in a situation. I think they could probably make it better.
I guess I think it would be better off if it wasn't just focused on a DIY as more of like a just a separate feature.
Yeah.
No, I'm not saying WarioWare Gold wasn't good, Chris. I'm just saying that it wasn't really the next mainstream WarioWare game because it was just all the previous games, was it not? I don't think.
Yeah, I think the potential is there. They tested the waters with 1-2 Switch. I didn't really play that, but
I hear it was a joke.
Not great.
Yeah.
But I mean, with WarioWare, you got more things to kind of just have thematically. So I mean, they definitely have more room for doing stuff. I think what the 1-2 Switch at least did is they showed that there are some interesting concepts that could be added into WarioWare. like the whole glass in the whole ice in the Joy-Con. I thought I was like, oh, that's interesting.
Mm.
Like they could have a, a WarioWare mini game where you count how many beans are in your controller, and then
Oh,
after you count
God.
them, Wario's like, haha, and he eats all of them.
That's okay. Okay.
I don't know. Hey, get me to work on WarioWare. I got stupid ideas. Yeah, I can't think of anything else for. Well, you got anything?
I got a couple of games that, like I said, these are probably just going to be like not going to show up at all because there's just probably not that much of a chance. I'd like to see basically a Donkey Kong Country 3 next gen version. So, like, just having this nice balance of two trilogies, basically Cold Monkey Game 2, but not really.
You reminded me of something. Do you think they'll show more stuff about that Zelda?
Oh yeah, they'll probably talk about Link's Awakening too for a little bit.
Yeah, just a little. I think so. Yeah.
I'm nervous to look at that because as much as the art style is really nice to look at, that game when I saw it looks really slow. And it looked a little too slow for me to enjoy it like the original game. So.
Oh, I forgot. I should have added this to the week. There's a Grand Blue fighting game. I played that a little because my internet's not great at the PS4. It plays a little more like Street Fighter because it's a little slower combat, but I think they should speed it up. It's just a random thing. I don't know. I don't know if they talk about it during the conference at all. They might talk about Relink because that looks kind of cool. But I mean, yeah, just a quick interlude. What other games?
I was talking about this with Troy. I remember now. We were talking about Kirby, and I'd like to see. We were kind of just like, we're sick of like how all Kirby games kind of play the same, and what we would like to actually see is not necessarily just Air Ride 2, but a game that uses the Smash engine to work Kirby, because I think Kirby runs and moves really nicely in that game, and I think if you put like some actual decent challenge into that Kirby game, I think like it'd be a really solid game and something that I would enjoy seeing. I know they're not going to do it, but
didn't they already try doing something like that though on the 3DS? It was the fighting game. I forget what it's called.
Oh, Kirby the Fighters? No, I'm not saying
no, not Sonic the Fighter.
No, sorry, Battle Royale is what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
I'm not saying a game like a fighting game for Kirby. I'm talking about just using the engine that Kirby.
Oh no, I understand.
That Smash runs on.
But
because
I mean,
technically speaking, I think Air Ride runs on Smash Melee's engine.
I don't know that.
So
what I was trying to get at is that they already tried to have like this kind of more combat focused game, but I don't think that game really did that well. But I mean, I see what you're saying. If they added more kind of maneuverability to how Kirby is, because you know it's very simple how it is in Star Allies 2. It's jump, throw a heart.
Like and, my issue with Kirby is the platforming is kind of just there, and I don't think it's really like focused too well. I don't think it's ever really been focused too well, and that's because Kirby has this ability that kind of makes it too difficult, and that's his being able to float across a lot of the screen. Some Kirbys don't have that specifically, and some do. But I think like if they take that away and make it so how Kirby kind of jumps in Smash, where he really has a very limited amount of jump, maybe even restricting him more, I think you could have a really decent platforming game. Because every time I play a Kirby game, it's like 95% of the game is super easy.
I don't think the point of Kirby is to be overtly challenging.
No, I agree that there a lot of the times when I play Kirby, I like the factor of just like, oh, this is just a game that I can play a level or two and then fall asleep to. But at the same time, like, I think it'd be kind of interesting for Kirby to kind of really get challenged into what could possibly be a difficult
I think they should
game.
just add a challenge mode then. Kirby.
Mario has really seen both sides of the fence. I mean, the original Marios were hard back in the day. I mean, a lot of people still struggle with playing Mario 1, 2, or 3. And then now when they play New Super, it's baby game.
Well, you if you did a highlight of your Wii U run, it's not quite the babby game. There's still a good amount of challenge.
Yeah, but
It just takes so many lives and stuff that.
Yeah, see, and it's just and the way Mario kind of moves now, there's a lot more chance of saving yourself as opposed to. And I'm not saying like it should be made, classic hard. I'm just saying that I feel like Kirby could deal with a little more challenge, and I think this challenge.
You're right.
I feel like the challenge could be really implemented in just the better design for the platforming. Like I said, half the games that Kirby is in, he is almost fully able to fly up to the top of the screen, and that's that. And like I feel like it's just more of like rail shooter, try to avoid everything in a sense.
Yeah, I can see that being probably the best implementation for adding challenge, just removing infinite jump. Maybe he gets like 5 and then and then he falls. That way you can't just skip over everything, and even then maybe each time you do the jump it's lesser of a height. But I mean, I don't know. Myself, I'm actually quite enjoying Star Allies. I mean, I think the whole point of the game is just to do all these cool moves at things. That's the way I'm playing it. Like I was doing it with the fighter, and I was like, "Now I'm having fun," I think what would add to you for challenge 2 would be making more difficult, like making it a little more difficult to 100% games, like harder chess stuffs, all that kind of jazz.
I mean, there's the collectibles are kind of fun sometimes, but some of the Kirby collectibles are really kind of garbage. I played Triple Deluxe, but I never played Robobot. Well, I played like the first level of Robobot, and I never picked.
I really want to play Robobot, dude. Kirby in a mech, that's good.
So
that's awesome. Pierce the heavens. But what I'm getting at is I think that the difficulty in Kirby should really be more optional than anything, because making it like a really hard game would not make it appealing to the audience it has.
You know what game, now that I think about it, unfortunately it got suffered by it still being a silly babby game, but Kirby Epic Yarn I think is a game that was like in the right direction, because they really didn't focus on Kirby copy abilities, and they really didn't focus on him being able to fly up to the top of the world kind of thing. But unfortunately, even if you fell down the hole, it's like, all right, whatever. So I think that like taking that kind of style where it's a little more simple, but you still have some of the Kirby stuff. I'm not. I said Air Ride 2 would be cool, but I wasn't implying that I'd like specifically for Air. I mean, yes, I would love an Air Ride 2, but I know that they're probably not going to do that. What I'm just saying is that like what they should do is they should base how Kirby moves and all the power ups Kirby gets in Smash Brothers, and just turn that into a game in its own right, and maybe not even have so many different like power up abilities.
I got it. Play Subspace Emissary only using Kirby. That's the answer.
Looks like it's time to end. I guess we gotta shoot speed here.
Well, it is kind of true. It is kind of everything.
You can't do that though, because in the Subspace Emissary, you got to play as different characters the first time around.
Once you beat it,
well, yeah, then
just play through. That's Kirby.
Come on, man.
What do you want? They're still 100%ing the game.
They're gonna release a Dragon Quest every year. Okay.
Final Fantasy 13 was not good.
We already know that.
I'm just going on a different tangent because I hate it when people are like, "Have you even played Dragon Quest?"
No, actually, I've not.
Then get off! Get off the bus! Where do you come from? Johnny was like this too. He was like, "Ugh, Resident Evil."
I didn't.
Have you played any? No, I have not.
Wait, what are you implying?
They're gonna have another Resident Evil coming.
Well,
soon.
what are you implying?
That.
Are you implying that I hate the game already?
Because you keep saying it's like, oh, another one.
I'm just saying that because it usually is like there's like I feel like every one, if it isn't like a specifically direct Dragon Quest, it's just like some other Dragon Quest thing. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I'm just saying that like I feel like they just always talk about Dragon Quest. It's like Fire Emblem. I feel like there's always a lot of Fire Emblem talk too. That's all I was implying. I wasn't saying Dragon Quest sucked. God, calm
No,
down,
but
Speed.
What
Calm
I'm trying
down.
to say is, though, that I still think that comment in itself is kind of unfounded. Because there really isn't that much Dragon Quest. Like, sure, there's a lot of slimes here and there. But I mean, I don't really think that there's a lot of Dragon Quest just games being released to the West, even. Like, a majority of them are Japan only.
Well, see, there's still a lot of Dragon Quest coming out, so Dragon
Oh,
Quest.
yeah. The things we can't even play.
That's quitter talk right there.
Oh, yeah, I'll go learn Japanese.
I'm surprised you haven't.
I'm surprised you haven't picked up LSD Dreams emulator, even though it's on on the Japanese. What's the PSN?
Oh, shit, that's a lot of work. And besides, I want the physical copy. You know this.
Yeah, but what's more, we're getting the digital one with just making a PSN account, or saving up a lot of money for a game that you probably only play like 5 times on a stream.
The latter.
Okay. But yeah, I'm actually comparing it because Johnny's sometimes like, oh yeah, another Resident Evil's coming out, even though he did beat 7. Sure, he didn't play any of the others. Is the thing.
I have the first one.
The first Resi?
No, Dragon Warrior.
Oh, yeah, that's not the one to play.
Are you saying it's Final Fantasy 1 quality?
Nah, it's dated for sure. I think that after playing Final Fantasy 1, I can say without a doubt that game is absurdly dated. Where are we going with this? But who?
Yeah? Want to talk about Sony?
Okay, let's talk about Sony. So Final Fantasy, so for Dragon Quest, they're coming out with Dragon Quest 12. And they're coming out with Final Fantasy 14. Wait, they are actually doing that. There's another expansion for 14. I mean, Evan's here, so.
Yeah, Evan would be able to. We already talked about Animal Crossing, Dolly. You were not here. You were late.
No, she wants to talk about how it's coming out right now.
No. It won't be out next week. I don't see it. I just
Nintendo
don't.
ain't the type of company to just drop a game.
That's not true.
That's more indie kind of.
That's not
style.
true. They dropped Tetris 99.
Yeah, but that's not like a fully fledged kind of game. It's an online experience.
Are you saying Tetris isn't a real game? Wow, Speed. Wow, you sicken me, Speed.
Go pay $10 for the offline mode then, Carl.
I didn't even like Tetris 99. Okay, so.
Oh, you don't even like Tetris 99? Or you're not a real Tetris gamer. See, I think overall the reason why I don't like E3 is because this is the point where everyone comes out with their cynical views.
Yeah, pretty much.
And it really puts me off talking about games because everyone's like, I'm not interested in this. It's kind of boring. Play the Resident Sleeper. Where's Smash? Where's Smash?
Yeah, there we go. When the new Smash game coming out.
When's the new Smash game coming? When's Smash Ultimate 2? But yeah, it's really the point where the cynicism really comes out, and I really don't care for unfounded cynicism. I like everyone's like, oh, I don't. They keep showing Fire Emblem, and it is true, but I mean, for one, the game did find a big audience after Awakening, and it is kind of a cash cow, so it is kind of important to discuss. But everyone's like, oh, they show it every year. There's so many I keep saying Final Fantasy, Fire Emblem characters in Smash and stuff like that. All that, I don't really care for. Sorry. I think I've put myself in a bad mood about E3.
Yeah, you did. Nobody even put you in the bad mood. You just put yourself in a bad mood. So, Mr. Cynic over here talking just cynical things about Cynic E3. Cynic.
This is why our avatars don't look at each other anymore. Here's looking the other way, and I'm like, I'm over here.
Dude, our avatars are looking directly at each other. Bobbin and Fiery Drawn Sunset Speed there.
That's drawn by Brightheart.
Oh, well, they're still looking. at each other.
Yeah, the big problem with Fire Emblem sure in Smash is that they have so many other weapon characters. Like, Hector has an axe. You know, they got the Lance girls on point. But yeah, that's the thing though. That I think that's my closing statement about E3. Like, I'm excited for it, for the releases, but I don't really follow it because every time I follow it, there's always going to be someone who's like,
Well, the
I didn't play the series, but it sucks.
we really didn't even get like that hectic until we started talking about Nintendo, really. So, like, we talked about EA and it was like, well, EA's there. And then we talked about Microsoft. We're like, well, Microsoft's got some stuff and they're there. And we talked about Ubisoft and we're like, well, they got the same two things that they usually do. And we talked about Square and, they got probably another Dragon Quest coming. And
oh no, Chris, I'm sick of you too. No, I'm sick of you too. Just out of nowhere. I don't think next year we'll be doing an E3.
Sure we will.
Darn it. Okay.
And somebody will come more prepared.
I'm not unprepared. It's just that I don't really care about E3. My preparedness is equal to my what I have to offer, unfortunately, about the whole thing. There'll be a Speedy Sunday next year. So wait, we're not doing any more until next year.
I guess the schedules are all wrong now.
But who do you think will be revealed as Smash DLC?
I would guess that they would probably talk about some people at this E3.
Okay, despite the comments that was said before, Dragon Quest kind of has a high chance of being the character. They have this crossover going on with the Switch. It's it's not. I don't even know if it's popular though. Is the big thing.
Would it just
11?
be the slime or
no Erdrick, who's who's kind of like the big guy of.
No, that's gonna be dumb. I want the slime.
Let's have Gooey from.
Yeah. Or no. What's that one that Chris really hates? The money one.
Oh, Moneybags.
Yeah, let's have that as a Smash character. You would approve of that, right, Chris?
But no, I don't know who would honestly be in Smash. They opened the field with Joker, honestly.
Yeah, they did.
I said my piece in your chat, but I basically said I hope at least, even if I'm not interested in the character, that the fans get a good representation of them, unlike Cloud. Like,
what do you mean?
Joker Cloud got 2 songs and a stage. Joker got a bunch of songs. He got a stage that changes colors depending on the song. He got a bunch of alternate colors that aren't just dark color, but a hint, a flavor of red. You know what I mean?
To be fair, Cloud also got an unlucky break being on Smash 4. First.
Yeah, but even bringing him back, he didn't really get anything new. So I hope that the next character is able to have good cooperation with the company, and just good respect for the character. At least that's what I think. I don't know. The stupid one I want is Kiryu because he's not in Tekken 7. Kiryu from Yakuza. But the name of the game is Yakuza. I don't think Nintendo's gonna add him in.
I think they should bring the Jalopy from Jalopy into the Leica.
No, they gotta add the uncle.
Oh yeah.
He just attacks you with his briefcase and then he leaves. But yeah, they opened the field so much so that, like, any predictions, there's a lot of popular predictions, but it's like you don't know until they show it. It's hard to predict because of how wide and open Joker set the field, is what I'm trying to say. You know what me saying?
Yeah, no, I get it.
Okay, but who would you like to see in reality?
I mean, besides Waluigi,
I'd love Waluigi, but I also think that if there's anything to parse from Joker, they also said they want to surprise people with the next character. Like, you won't expect this. I mean, but then there's a lot of predictions out, and I don't know if they would add Waluigi, unfortunately. There is a chance, but I mean, a very slim chance.
Yeah, see, Waluigi would be a surprise.
Yeah, he would be a surprise, but it's I think the surprise is in, oh, we weren't expecting to pair up with this company. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So you're saying the Master
that's the
Chief?
surprise I'm talking about. Yeah, the LGN is gonna come back, have their star character, Silver Surfer, in Smash. Well, but you were saying besides Waluigi?
I don't really have. Honestly, I don't play Smash enough to really like care.
Right.
So
But I mean, if it is a character you like, then you
like even if Waluigi showed up in Smash Brothers, I probably still would hardly play the game as it is.
I'm not saying they're not stopping them. I'm saying they set a precedent. The precedent is it's gonna be a thing that like it's gonna be a cooperation with the company. It's gonna be surprising. It's not that Waluigi being added wouldn't be surprising. It's just that they kind of set the precedent. And I still think it's kind of relevant to consider that into a prediction. Because it is a prediction. You have to use, information given to make a informed guess. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. I feel like people are disagreeing, which is fine.
I mean, that's gonna happen regardless.
Oh, the Chris was talking about this. Well, I thought well, let's take a word from our sponsors.
Shoot.
I want that to be the song.
Go ahead, sponsor.
This week we're sponsored by the Dollar Shave Club.
I'm sorry, what did you just say?
The Dollar Shave Club. That's the thing that everyone's sponsored by lately. And I don't have a beard, and I think you just shaved yours, right?
No, mine's still here.
Oh, well, here we go. The Dollar Shave
Gosh,
Club.
darn it.
Use code Big Jalopy for 10% off your shaving needs. Now, Carl, you have a beard.
Yes.
Which is not present in any of your artwork, but I mean you have one.
Yes.
But with the Dollar Shave Club, you can clean that beard right off and have a nice, cool face. And they also sell other things too, like hair product, gel. I don't know. They didn't really send me a good memo here. They also sell pogo sticks and swords. So use the promo code, what was it, Big Jalopy, for the swords. So yeah, this episode was sponsored by swords. Oh wait, no, the Dollar Sword Club, the Dollar Shave Club. Do we have any more advertisementing people?
No.
How about Chris? Chris, do you want to advertise us?
Go watch twitch.tv/Christmas95. It's a riot of a time.
He's playing Hat in Time currently.
He
I
plays
think so.
Splatoon 2 Salmon Run every now and then, and I don't think he plays anything else currently at the moment. So,
he's in the workshop.
Yeah.
So how much are you gonna pay us for that, Chris?
Yeah.
Where's my money? Where's my money, Denny? I don't have your money. Where's my money, Denny? Okay.
Well, I think we were actually asking that initially, Chris, but then we just decided that I'm just gonna advertise you because I don't want to hear another Dollar Shave Club commercial.
What?
I don't want to hear another Dollar Shave commercial.
All right, here I got another one.
No, we're done.
Well, do you have any swords in your?
No, we're done.
Okay. That you see was a little bit of. I'm sorry, if I made it weird or anything.
You make everything weird. It's okay. Let's talk about Sony.
Oh really? I forgot that you're gonna talk about Sony.
Yeah. So this is if Sony actually decided to give a crap and show up. I'm actually we could talk about that for a second. Is there any actual defining reason why they decided not to show up at all?
They got the shirts on backwards. I don't know. I think they don't want to just go to E3. I don't know. I don't think they have anything ready, but even though they should. Because there's a lot of games that they're working on. They revealed it last year, like Ghost of Tsushima, Last of Us 2.
Yeah, so like I would really enjoy Last of Us 2. I'd enjoy another Uncharted game. Infamous would be good. Gran Turismo 7, which I'm not even sure is like a thing. If it wants to be a thing.
When was Gran Turismo 6 released?
End of PlayStation 3.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Well, then they released Gran Turismo Sport, which was like not really hardly anything of a game.
Sorry.
And then Gran Turismo 7 is supposedly a thing. But we're not seeing it at E3, that's for sure.
I think maybe I would like to think that they're trying to change their approach to how they do conferences. But I mean, I don't think so either. I'd like to think it, but I don't think it, is what I'm saying. Because last year was a little bit weird.
Yeah, it wasn't the greatest for Sony there. I'd like to also see a new Twisted Metal game at some point soon here. I didn't think their last game was all that great. It was okay. But it didn't really stick out to me as like, wow, this is amazing. Yeah, they're basically ripping off Nintendo Directs now.
I mean, I'd like to think they would. I think they could rip it off, but have a little style. That would be that's really the thing that Nintendo needs to do too. A little more style with the funny skits, I think, because they got rid of that because they want to seem more professional. I believe so, at least. Yeah. That's why there's not really Mii's plazas. There's not music on the eShop, stuff like that. Like, they did do the thing earlier, and they did show Death Stranding, which we didn't really talk about, but I mean.
Oh yeah, that's the thing too. Forget about that.
It's hard to discuss about it, but I mean, at least I think we kind of have a general idea where the story's gonna go now.
I honestly, every time I look at that game, every time I watch more and more trailers about that game, like, I have plenty of faith that it's going to sell, no problem. I just don't know.
It's hard because it's his first product alone, so you don't really. It's hard to tell where it's gonna go, but I mean, it looks kind of Metal Gear-y. There's stealth.
Kojima, besides Metal Gear, Kojima worked on Zone of the Enders,
which was pretty good.
But I don't think Zone of the Enders really did all that well, did it?
It's because it's a niche game. It's like you pilot mechs.
Yeah. And he did what else? I like the only thing I can really like think of that's just like. I don't want to say successful because I don't think that's like the fairest of words, but just unfortunately Metal Gear, when you look at a game like Metal Gear versus Zone of the Enders, like, is there anything else that compares up to it as being like...
Police Knots.
Okay. Is there anything else?
Police Knots and Snatcher. No, those were good.
but they didn't compare up to like what I'm saying. I'm not saying like
there's still a niche legacy about those two games at the very least.
Sure, but what I'm saying is that like they're not. Death Stranding is looking to be like on par with Metal Gear, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, there's already clear political statement that they're aiming for with bridging societies and it's America and that's messed up.
And I mean, Kojima walked out there on stage back in 2017 when they first announced it, and he showed off that he's making a new game. He showed off that he can tell Konami where to stick it, and he showed off that, hey, we're gonna have Norman Reedus on stage, or not on stage, but in our game too. And everybody was like,
I'm on board.
Take my money. Yeah, so.
And then they showed Mads. It's like, oh man, that bromance is real.
The bottom line is that Police Not Snatcher and Zone of the Enders didn't really have that effect that Death Stranding is going to have. So now it comes to the question and issue of like, I will play that game at some point. I have really high hopes that game is going to be good, but at the same time, like,
it's possible that it might not hit the mark. But I mean, I don't think I'm anticipating that it's not going to be this bomb though.
Yeah,
I think it's above an 80. I think. I'm maybe above a 70 even.
I feel like it's gonna be like Metal Gear, unfortunate, where I'm gonna be confused with a lot of things.
Yeah, that's just
It's just the
how
way
Kojima
Kojima,
is.
yeah.
I think let's compare the latest work though. Metal Gear Solid 5, I think was really hindered because of Konami's work on it.
It wasn't as realistic as I wanted it to be.
Yeah, okay. But you know what I'm getting at, right? I feel like the product was rushed, and I don't think it was because of Kojima. I mean, it's really hard to say about that whole development of 5. But I mean, now that he has kind of free reign, if anything, let's see what's going on.
Yeah.
Let's see what happens.
Let's give him the benefit of the doubt, I guess.
He has full free reign over this project. So that's the curious thing. What will happen when Kojima is driving the vehicle?
Yeah. All right.
He's driving the jalopy.
So this is his first test run, I guess.
Yeah.
So we're waiting, Kojima. We're watching.
I think it
Prove
looks
yourself.
Kind of fun. It does look a little overtly open worldy, which could be a problem because a lot of open world games kind of have that bare problem of there might not be something interesting going on here because it's open world. But we discussed this with a perfect game scenario too, where it's with an open world you kind of don't have the ability to kind of design everything and have a good flow of where you want the people to go. But I mean, I don't know. We'll just have to see. What else is there? Sony though.
The only thing I would like to see, I don't know if Ape Escape 4, like obviously there's no talk of Ape Escape 4 ever being a thing, but I feel like that would be under the Sony aspect.
Knack 3.
I would enjoy that, and I'd also enjoy a Jack and Dexter 4 if they and came out with that too. But
Jack and Dexter is pretty interesting because it's one of those games that really changed its genre.
Yeah, and that's the other thing too. Is like I'd really like Jack and Dexter 4 just go back to the first game. Like I played quite a bit of 2, and I've not played 3 at all. But from what I've heard, 3 is basically more or less 2.
I'd love to read into it or like play 2 and 3, but I mean it's one of the biggest changes I've seen to not the biggest, but I mean it's definitely like a shift from platforming to shoot bangs like Ratchet and Clanky type deal. But yeah, I don't know if I'd be interested in Jack and Dexter 4 just because, or Jack 4. Sorry.
If they just had Jack 4 play exactly like the first game, I think it would be a lot better than having Jack have guns.
But it's kind of like the Paper Mario scenario, It's changed, and I don't know if they'd go back. I mean, it wouldn't make sense for him to just stop using a gun, would it? It just had to be a new IP. I'm not saying the Paper Mario change is bad. I'm just saying they're not gonna go. It's different. Is what I'm just getting at. I don't dislike anything about the Paper Mario series.
I don't know. I think they could just write something in where he just doesn't use guns anymore, and he didn't in the first game. There was plenty of things that had guns in the first game. He could have picked up a gun in the first game, but he didn't use guns in the first game. So it's like
he's crash landed on a new planet. There's no guns, but he has stick. He has Dexter weapon.
I'm not saying guns are bad. I'm just saying that the game felt really different when he picked up a gun.
Yeah,
and the other thing too is that like during that time, like there was a lot of complaint that he was jumping on the Ratchet and Clank bandwagon too, because Ratchet and Clank was like, all right, let's have all these ridiculous guns, and people love that. They didn't change the formula at all through the first 3 games.
But yeah,
do not give me that crap about saying that is bad or saving face for the company, okay? I don't want to hear it.
For me? What?
Any of you guys.
Oh well, so what I'm not trying to fuel anything. I'm just really saying that for better or worse, the fact that they changed the thing, like Jack and Dexter having guns didn't really appeal to me. So I didn't really play 2 or 3 too much. Also, my parents were like, it's guns, don't touch it. Here's Silent Hill though. um, and like, you know, I like Super Paper Mario. I didn't really play the other ones, obviously, but I'd be interested in. It'd be interesting if they went back to RPGs, but also I'm fine if they keep going the way they're going, because it seems like both, like Jack with guns, for example, and Jack without guns, have its own respective fans. I think the same can be said about Paper Mario. Because like you like Sticker Star quite a bit, right?
Honestly, most of the time I look at all 5 of them. I'm like, all right, these are all fine.
Yeah.
There's stuff I do and stuff that I don't like throughout all the Paper Mario games. If I had to rank them, like just from which ones I thoroughly enjoyed versus the ones that were really just okay, usually I like to say that the original Paper Mario is on the top of the list and the Super Paper Mario is on the bottom of the list. Yeah, we don't talk about. I don't know anything about Paper Jam. I played like a minute of it and that was it. And I don't remember that minute I played. But right. I would like the games to go back kind of to the original RPG format that they were in, where they had party members and all that stuff. But I think what they've done shouldn't be discounted as bad. I think
because they're still enjoyable experiences. I watched playthrough of Color Splash and I was like, hey, this is pretty funny.
I had plenty of fun playing how they styled Sticker Star, and I had plenty of fun playing Color Splash. There was only really one true thing I hated about Color Splash, and that was those stupid pile of garbage, dumb enemy cards that were like impossible to get because they were like pure luck, and whoever came up with that idea in Color Splash needs to be taken out back and shot. Okay, so you know who you are, Mr. Programmer, that did that part,
or Mrs. or them. It could be anyone. It could be you.
Yeah. But I 100% Sticker Star. I didn't do Color Splash, but I definitely 100%. Sticker Star was not that hard to 100%.
I was gonna say I'm kind of in the same boat because I really haven't played Sticker Star. I really haven't played Color Splash. But I would kind of order it the same. But I like 1,000 Year Door more. Just myself. I know. There's differences here and there that people like to discuss, but I don't think anyone's like, "Ugh, you like 1,000 Year Door?" I'm a Paper Mario fan myself. You know, I don't talk to those people. But yeah, Super Paper Mario was definitely one of the. It's where it took a weird turn. I kind of enjoyed the experience of it, but like the Samurai Kingdom thing, no. Brightheart and I talked about it. Oh no, I did not like the 100. What do you call it? The 100 floor samurai hoobadadoop. And the Pit of 100 Trials, and that was not flimmy flammy fun for me, at least myself.
There was just I'd have to really think. That would be like a whole nother discussion if we went into Super Paper Mario. There's a lot of things that game did right, and there's just too many things I feel that game tried to do right, but it didn't come out as well as it was hoped to be.
It didn't feel like... to me, it kind of felt like all the parts didn't really connect. Well, like, okay, now you're in this part, and then it's like...
See, the biggest problem I had with Super Paper Mario was actually when he flipped into 3D. It really puts into perspective of why a game has to be like defined as 2D versus 3D. Because like you flip into the 3D segments and it's unique. Don't get me wrong. It puts into perspective, yeah. But there'd be a lot of moments where it's like this looks ugly in a sense, or this just seems weird. And it's the fact that you could only stay in that realm for a given amount of time was also kind of a harsh thing to do.
Until you beat it. But I mean, at that point... Well, no. It's even further. You had to do more stuff to unlock unlimited 3D, right?
Yeah, it's empty. That's a good way to put it, too. Like, there was just a lot of just, like, empty... missed, I guess... unfortunately, you can't really neglect it for being, like there not being enough content, because there was plenty of content throughout the game, but it's just like, I don't know. It wasn't my favorite thing to do. And then there was like issues where you'd be 2Ding somewhere and then you get to this 3D crack where it'd be this small little thing, and then like you'd look out to the this happened primarily most in like flip side, because you'd get to that like little cracked bridge in the 3D perspective, and there would just be white out in the distance, and it was like, well, this looks kind of not okay. And I don't know, it's just it's environment was kind of shot down in some regards. But I mean, there's like plenty of environments within the game where it was like, wow, this looks great. I mean, everybody loved Pixel World. Everybody loved Pixel World.
Especially because of that great character.
Yeah, everybody loved
That
Pixel
guy
World.
is great. I love complaining on online message boards about games I've never played. That is a poignant statement. That's really good.
So
I also like I did like the characters too. Like was it Mimi? She was
yeah,
creepy.
some of those the characters were
me.
pretty good too.
She scared me. I was like, yeah.
But I didn't like the what is it, the pixels or whatever?
You mean the PIXLs?
Yeah. They
not because you just said you love the Pixel World.
yeah.
That comes across as weird.
They
I got you back.
I feel like they were just super lazy designs for side characters. Like I
yeah,
get,
that's the point. Yeah.
I get what they were trying to go for, but I just think that, like, I don't know. There was just it was just lacking. I felt
that's the thing, I think, where people really don't like the newer ones, because the focus on having a interesting partners is kind of gone.
That's a big divide. Is that not
less about the RPG element and more about the partners?
Yeah, there is a lot of people that are really upset about not having partners and stuff like that, and I part of me gets it, but the part of me too is that like it still plays great without having partners. I mean, the difference in what they were going for, really, it works fine. It's just
yeah. Well, to me, it really is the partner element that I actually really missed in Super Paper, because I did not play the other two. So I'm going at this angle where I played Super Paper Mario, and I was like, these pixels, I like Thoreau. He's kind of cool because you throw things. Oh. And then who's the one who's like, you gotta get big, you gotta bulk up? It was the Thudley or whatever.
The one that's like Thwomp.
Yeah, Biggles. He's like, oh, you gotta get big, and I was like, big. I like big. Bowser, he's big. You know, I like that guy. But I mean, besides that, I don't remember any of the other ones. I know that the RPG element is still big, but I think some people at the core are like, the fact that the RPG element isn't there, kind of just is supplemented with the partners.
Yeah,
not there. But I think we talked about everything we need to talk about. I did get an email, but we could talk about it next time.
Now we could do. Do you think it'd be a quick email?
Yeah. Let me read it out.
We can always just go the deleted route.
It's one. Hey Sped, what should I do? Hey Sped and Carl. Oh, sorry. If you want to send an email, you can send it to please don't email this podcast at gmail.com. What is it again, Carl?
Shoot. Please. Please
you
don't.
You have XSplit open.
Hold on. Please, Dante, mail this podcast at gmail.com.
The point of sending emails is because some people just watch the podcast and don't watch the streams. And the other thing is, if you want to send a formal question, it's a nice way to do it. It's kind of just an extra spice on the podcast. It's nothing else. And you don't even have to ask questions. You could just send, rectifications, other things. Well, let's get to it. What should I do? Hey, Sped and Carl. I have this friend named Shootmaster, right? This friend, totally unrelated to me in any capacity, isn't sure whether to watch the Pokemon Direct or not, because this definitely not me friend doesn't want all the Pokemon from Sword and Shield spoiled before release. But this friend also doesn't want to miss out on discussing all the reveals, and doesn't want to deal with the headache of spoiler dodging. Make the decision for me, mate, please. Thanks, Wootmaster.
So
So
the question is if you do watch it, then you spoil yourself. If you don't watch it, then you get left out. Is what I'm understanding.
yeah,
Um, I, I think. Okay, if you've never just not looked at anything for any sort of a game, I guess try it with Pokemon. But if you've like done it before and you know what it feels like to just not and you hate it, then I would go ahead and spoil yourself if that makes sense.
right. My stance is I feel like spoiling yourself here and there doesn't detract from the overall experience, because the important thing is the experience, not there's a Pokemon in it. But I mean, um if you're really perturbed by it, like at least we'll get your back. We'll be sure to spoil your tag it and all that stuff. But I mean, I don't think that being spoiled, at the very least, if you do take the route of not reading into the directs and stuff, don't be perturbed if you do get spoiled, because I mean the person didn't intend to be, um mean. At least currently there's no like way to be mean about it. It's like, oh yeah, there's a Pikachu 2 is in this game. It's Fat Pikachu returned. But I mean, but besides that though, sorry Carl, the, the the whole view, I think, is that if you do get spoiled, don't view it as the end. You can't enjoy it anymore. I think that's the big thing.
Oh my god.
I didn't think you'd like Pikachu 2 so much.
This is so stupid sounding. Pikachu too.
Hey, there's Porygon 2.
I know. But...
and Porygon Z. So they're gonna have Pikachu Z. But I mean, that's the way I view it, at least. If you want to avoid spoilers, like I've been doing that for Kingdom Hearts 3, and I don't know when I'm actually gonna play it still. But I mean, if you get told a thing here or there, that's fine. But I mean, if someone starts explaining to you like, oh yeah, this is how the story's gonna go, the whole thing, and you accidentally read it because your eyes are curious, that's where it's like, okay, that's not a good spoiler. There are spoilers that you can get over it, and then there's spoilers that's like, no thanks, sorry, you bad news bears. But I mean,
make sure to
yeah.
make those noises when assessing the shoot.
Because I think the discoveries go just beyond Pokemon. The discoveries go like new areas, And I think that's also supplemented by the fact that the Sword and Shield kind of looks like it's going to be a lot more visually impressive, obviously. Yeah. It looks very intensive and looks cool. But yeah, that's my take on what you should do. If you want to take that route, that's up to you. Just, you have to accept the fact that there are going to be some headaches, but don't let them get to you. My answer was a lot longer. I'm sorry.
All right.
So let's wrap up with our schedules. What are you doing next week?
This week should be a normal schedule. Monday. I don't know when I'm starting tomorrow, actually. So we'll do some Mario Party. Well, actually, what we'll do is we'll probably finish up Mario Party 2. We'll do the last two boards. Play some Bowser Land, and then afterwards I'll start up a new game. I don't know what I'm gonna start up. I still am making a decision on that. Tuesday will be whatever game I choose, and then some Kingdom Hearts. Wednesday, I think we'll return back to more Phoenix Wright, and then later on we'll do either one of the two, American Truck Simulator or Please Don't Touch Anything. Thursday will be the same as Tuesday. Friday, we'll probably do some more FTL, that kind of stuff. If I get around to it, I'll probably do another music stream.
Right.
And then Sunday we'll probably do more Strong Bad.
Strong Bad. It's always good to have a schedule for Speedy Sundays, because today was not the worst, but I mean, it's like, okay, what are we playing? And it's like,
but we didn't.
I was like, that's a good question.
We didn't make it to the very last second this time, so we were.
Yeah. I mean, I kind of want to play more open RCT, but I know that how your stance on that, which is totally fine. Maybe I'll stream it on my own then.
Maybe I'll join you then if you stream it on your own.
No. What do you mean?
Well, like if you streamed it on your channel, like I could just join in when I.
Oh
like
yeah,
playing.
that'll work. You could do that because
Turn that
you're
into.
confused like.
You
why we
take
did
forever on like the smallest little section, and it's like, oh, here's another entire land after you built your one single roller coaster.
I feel like I think that's just the difference between how we're approaching the game. Because I really want to make this nice looking kind of meticulous thing, and you're like action.
You're not gonna have
adventure,
anything else
you know?
to make nice looking by the time I get done with making the entire universe.
So I won't have you on, and then just drop you off. And it's like, no, never mind. You know what? I'm taking the series under my own wing.
Go put more buildings in Western Land.
Yeah. My week. What are we doing? Monday I have the dentist, so I'm not doing that. I don't think I'll even be able to join you, Carl, if you need seats. Well, you're already doing something else for Mario Party. Because recently, you're like, Speed, get on here. I'm like, hey.
Yeah.
Okay. I really don't have a schedule planned out, but White Mage Wednesdays, they're gonna wrap up soon. We got like maybe two or three more streams tops.
But what will you do then?
Well, so Brightheart and I have been actually talking about that. We're looking into it, but a huge possibility is that we really want to try out Secret of Mana, because we both discussed that too, Carl. But
yeah,
there's that whole one player problem, and then it becomes two player.
Correct.
We'll find a way to supersede that.
It takes about an hour and a half to 2 hours, I think, before you get that second player availability.
Yeah, but I think it'll be a fun stream. I don't know. We're still workshopping that. And then I got Tides of Long Pants on Thursday. I don't know. It's always up in the air if I'll stream with my sister again. I think on Tuesday maybe I'll do Mario Paint again. I haven't done that in a while.
Mm.
And then the Sundays the same thing.
Mm.
Maybe a podcast. We don't know.
Okay.
Probably. All right. So.
Well, all of Speed stuff is canceled because it's time for him to die now.
What? Not yet.
Yeah.
Can I at least say? Can I say my last words?
Sure.
What are you gonna kill me with? Those are terrible last words. Oh yeah. I can hear it. What do you actually kill me with? I'm gonna be silent on your protest.